May I have your attention, please? If you have not done so at this time, please silence all cell phones and pagers, and please sign in. Thank you.
All right, good morning. This meeting of the Louisiana Tax Commission is hereby called to order. This meeting is being held at the offices of the Louisiana Tax Commission at 1051 North 3rd Street, Suite 225, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The date is Wednesday, October 3rd, 2018, and the time is 10:01 a.m. Please call the roll.
Chairman Shahardy.
Here.
Commissioner Wagaspat.
Here.
Commissioner West.
Here.
Commissioner Vercher. Commissioner Wood.
Here.
4 present and a quorum.
Thank you. There being no old business to take up at this time, I will accept a motion for the approval of the minutes of the September 26th, 2018 meeting of the Tax Commission.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Vercher is absent. Commissioner Wagaspat was absent for that meeting. Commissioner Wood.
Yes.
Commissioner West.
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. All right, we'll now consider the approval of the 2018 tax rolls for the following parishes: Acadia, Assumption, Avoyelles, Caldwell, Catahoula, East Carroll, Iberville, Lafourche, Livingston, Morehouse, Point Coupé, Richland, Union, West Carroll, and Wynn.
Good morning. Phyllis King, Assistant Director, Louisiana Tax Commission. I have received all the documentation for these 15 parishes. Lisa did receive the electronic tax rolls and has run those rolls, and each one of them is passed in the system. We also received, of course, the TC33, the TC33 abstract, the recap, which contains the millages. We also have the public service recap that matches with our public service recap. We have the quietus from the Sheriff's Office, letters from the Legislative Auditor's Office approving the millages, and also affidavits from each of the assessors that they have run the rolls and everything is appropriate. So considering we have all the documentation, staff recommends approval of these 15 parish tax rolls.
All right, thank you. Any questions? All right, I'll make the motion that we approve the 2018 tax rolls for the following parishes: Acadia, Assumption, Avoyelles, Caldwell, Catahoula, East Carroll, Iberville, Lafourche, Livingston, Morehouse, Point Coupé, Richland, Union, West Carroll, and Wynn Parish as recommended by staff.
Second.
We have a second.
Commissioner Vercher is absent. Commissioner Wagaspat.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood.
Yes.
Commissioner West.
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. Next items on the agenda are a group of appeals, all of which have been settled, except for one of those appeals, item F, which has been continued to November 7th, 2018. We'll now consider change orders.
Chelsea Soche with the Louisiana Tax Commission. We have a total of 204 change orders for today's meeting. Staff has reviewed and recommends that the Commission approve 188 and place 16 under pending status per Appraisal Department review.
We have a motion for approval.
I would move that we accept the staff recommendations for change orders and approve 188 and place 16 on pending status.
Second.
Commissioner Vercher is absent. Commissioner Wagaspat.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood.
Yes.
Commissioner West.
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. We'll now consider tax sale cancellations.
We have 7 tax sale cancellations for today's meeting. 1 for Caddo, correct assessed owner. 2 for St. Tammany, both dual assessment. 4 for Ouachita, 1 demolished, 1 transfer error, and 2 lack of notification. Staff has reviewed and recommends that the Commission approve all 7 tax sale cancellations.
We have a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the tax sale cancellations as presented and recommended by staff.
Second.
Commissioner Vercher is absent. Commissioner Wagaspat.
Yes.
Commissioner Wood.
Yes.
Commissioner West.
Yes.
And Chairman Shahardy.
Yes. We'll now have a presentation by our attorney, Mr. Robert Hoffman, regarding Louisiana Revised Statutes 49-960. Revised Statute 49-960.
This won't take very long. I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of the statute that specifically addresses communications with parties, assessors, taxpayers, or their lawyers on cases that are pending before the tax commission. I would imagine that everybody probably knows that you're not supposed to communicate with anybody, but you could occasionally get a telephone call from a friend who's an assessor or somebody who's a taxpayer or lawyer. And
Or a friend of a friend?
best thing to do is just say, look, I can't discuss it. And that even applies for cases that we've already heard. If they're still pending before district court, which you guys may not have any way of knowing that, but if they're still pending before district court, they could get remanded to the tax commission. So if somebody has any questions, Drew or myself are not decision makers, so we're not prohibited from talking to anybody. So if anybody has any questions about any contact that anybody has with them, you could refer them to Drew or myself or anybody else who is not part of the decision-making process.
And that would be for any court, though. I mean, not just district court. Could be the appellate court.
Yeah, I mean, if
Yeah.
something is still pending before an
Well, the
appellate
courts at
court,
all.
Yeah, it could get, technically, it could get sent back to the tax commission.
Yeah.
So.
And once the judgment is final, then there's no such restriction, or?
Well, once it's final and no longer appealable and no longer subject to possibly being remanded, then there's no restriction.
Yeah.
Now, a problem could arise if somebody asks you a question about a case that's not yet pending, that's already done, and then the same issue comes up in a later case. So, I just want everybody, I don't want anybody to be blindsided.
Is there any issue that arose or any complaints that have been?
No.
Okay.
I mean, in the past, we've had some issues where, people got communications from somebody that they didn't, one guy was, who was on the commission years ago, was a retired lawyer from a certain parish, and he kept getting calls from an assessor's first assistant. And I guess he just didn't pick it up. And it wasn't a problem. It could have been, but it turned out that it wasn't. So if anybody has any questions about this, feel free to ask.
So if you get a call from anybody involved to say, look, this could be considered ex parte communication,
Yeah, just say, I shouldn't talk about it, how's your wife and kids, or whatever, There's nothing wrong with any of that kind of thing, but it's just, if any specific issues were to come up, having to do with the merits or any valuation or anything like that. And that also goes for public service properties as well, because we are the actual appraiser of public service properties. So you may not know that our people in the back right now are appraising Entergy, and somebody from Entergy may call. And once again, that's the kind of thing that's, it's possible that the case might come before the tax commission and you can't discuss it.
We shouldn't be discussing the appraisal process either with staff regarding public service property.
You should not discuss.
We should be totally detached.
Yeah, and you shouldn't discuss, say, with Jeff or his people about an appraisal on a case that's pending before the tax commission, because you should be hearing it at first impression and in a public record when both sides are present, and not hearing one side of the story without hearing the other side of the story in public record, in a non-public record. But anyway, if anybody has any questions about it, feel free to ask me or ask Drew. Lawrence is pretty familiar with it from all of his years as a fact finder in his parish. So,
Okay. All right, thank you very much.
any questions, let me know.
Thank you.
Any questions? No. Okay, thank you. All right, unless there's somebody else has a question or something they want to say.
Just a moment of personal
Sure.
privilege. Miss Wanda email, like her to stand up and be recognized. She is a longtime employee of the assessor's office. Just so happens it's her birthday today.
Oh,
At least that's what they
Happy
say on Facebook.
birthday.
happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy
It's a
birthday.
good seeing.
Nice.
Happy birthday.
She's the longest employee at the office.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Now that we've embarrassed you over the internet.
YouTube
And that's on YouTube Live, so you can.
It's on
Yeah,
YouTube
another
Live,
YouTube
and
sensation.
anybody in the world can see that now and know you had a birthday. Anybody in the world. All righty, well, happy birthday. All righty, there being no other matters to come before the commission at this time, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Vercher is absent. Commissioner Wagasback?
Yes.
Commissioner Wood?
Yes.
Commissioner West?
Okay, yes.
And Chairman Sharp.
Yes.